But yeah, anyway, but something changed with me and Sam in December, and we actually went to Montebello. It was the Canadian directors training. And honestly, we were surrounded by so many inspiring women like Diana and Aaron were there, and just people I've never met before, Canadian directors. And I was honored to be there because myself, I'm an MMM, and technically directors weren't, or we were not supposed to be at the director training, but they allowed us to come. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to meet all these directors. I get to hear all their tips. I was so pumped. And then I got into the room, and I honestly, there was 30 people, and I looked around the room and I said, there's only 30 people here. What? It blew my mind that I, for one, was one of those people to be sitting in that room, and that in Canada, there was only 30 directors at the training. 30 people qualified for that out of all of Canada. Okay. And if you know the population of Canada, it's the same population as the population of California in the US. So if you're in the US, you have an even bigger opportunity, right? So I really realized, you know what? There is room at the top here. All this time, I thought, like there's so many people at the top and whatever they talk about saturation. You know what? No, not at all. There is so much room at the top. There is people like if I'm sitting in this room, I know a lot of you guys don't know me, but I'm just a regular girl. I'm from a very small town. I live way out in the country on a gravel road. Like if I can do this, anybody can do this. And I didn't have experience coming into this. So that training really shifted our mindset. And if I can say anything to you guys, is show up to Monate events like Road to Success. If you're not registered and you're a Canadian market partner, you need to be there because events will change everything for you. I went to Dominican, that completely changed my perspective. So show up to the events. Mindset is like, I honestly think 90% of this business. So after that, okay, Sam and I actually really clicked, and I had never met her before. I met her once very briefly, but we decided to become accountability buddies. I mean, she didn't know me, I didn't know her, and we were like, you want to be my buddy? Okay. It was like kindergarten, you're meeting your first friend, right? So we really teamed up, and she has been doing a lot of reels lately, and I had been doing reels forever, and we really kind of, I don't even know how it came about, but we really started to niche down. And does anyone know, or does anyone not know what niching means? So put a 1 in the chat if you know what I mean when I say niche. It's kind of a weird word. Okay, lots of 1s. 2 in the chat if you don't know what niche is. No idea. Okay, that's awesome. You don't have to know. I'll briefly explain it, but on Instagram, okay, who does reels here? Who has posted a reel? 1 in the chat if you posted a reel. Everyone, you should. And if you haven't, this is my challenge. This is my call to action for you after this call is to make a reel. Okay. And not well. They're gonna start not well. Okay. You just have to practice reels. But niching is something that has really taken off for both Sam and I. We have a very similar approach. And this is where all of our VIPs came from. All 36 of my VIPs last month were from my reels. Every single VIP last month was from my reels. And what I did is one reel when it started, this is, I think it was posted end of December. I posted this reel, and it was a reel. You can go on my page and check it out. It was a reel of me. It was basically showing that my hair got really fried off at the salon. And then I showed this is my 2-year recovery, and I was like brushing my hair. That took off, and all the followers I got from it actually all had bleached blonde hair. So can you guess what all my VIPs, the 36 VIPs last month, what they ordered? They were all on the damage line or the black. Every single one of them. They all had bleach damage. They were desperate for a change. They had this bad experience at the salon, and they wanted to fix it because they related to my story. And that brought them to trust me, right? So in terms of niching, I took that reel and I was like, okay, I've got this audience now that all has damaged hair. I need to help these people. And then I started only posting about how to reverse damage. I started only posting about breakage, split ends, hair that wouldn't grow, everything to do with that. And my every single reel I posted about hair had to do with that. And then my following kept growing and growing and growing. And I gained 6,000 followers in a month. So that's where the hair quizzes started coming in. In total, over the 2 months, I've had 800. Actually, I think it's up to like 900 hair quizzes. Insanity. So there's another point for you to take, that there is hundreds, thousands of people out there looking for these products. So when you say to yourself, or when somebody on your team says to you, nobody wants to buy, no, like nobody is interested, that's not true. You haven't found them. You haven't reached those people. There's thousands of people interested and desperate for products. And I can tell you, most of the people that reached out to me, they didn't care about flagship. They didn't care about the price. They were like, yep, sign me up. I don't care. Whatever you have to tell me. I probably could have told them that they had to order 20 more times and they would have done it. So they're out there, and Sam's going to walk you through the process of how to actually sign them up after, and exactly like step by step. Our process is very similar, not word for word, but she's going to show you her script. Okay. So that was the niching part. So for you guys, and now not everybody has bleached damaged hair, and you didn't go through a bad salon appointment like I did. That's my story. And that's why people relate to me and why they're attracted to my page. You have to find something that, one, you're passionate about talking, because beyond, I love science of hair, and that's what I'm going to get more into on my page. And I love everything to do with just repairing damage, because I know the feeling of what that feels like, being so frustrated. Find something that you're passionate about and something that relates to your hair. Because if you've got pin straight flat hair and you want to talk, your niche wants to be something about curly hair, it's not going to work out. It's just not, right? So find something. It doesn't have to be hair. It does not have to be hair. Guess what? We have got skincare. We've got wellness. It can be anything. And actually, I think if you find a niche within skincare or wellness, you will do better than hair care, because I don't see many people actually know this, like details about skincare and sharing stuff like that. I see lots of hair people, but not skincare. Skincare is not my passion. So it wouldn't be something that I could do. But if that is yours, run with it. Okay. So that's the niching. Now I made it a non-negotiable to post a reel a day, because Instagram algorithm is like your boss. Last week, or where are we now? Yeah, last week I had COVID and I stopped posting. Well, I tried my best, but I was very, very sick. And I had to stop posting for a few days. And I literally feel like Instagram punished me for that. My reel views went down, my story views went down, everything went down. And now I'm building back up. So Instagram loves people who always are posting on their stories. Be consistent, right? Do as much as you can. They love people that post a reel a day. Instagram is a reel a day. TikTok is another story. You're more up to like 5 or 3 to 6 TikToks a day to become successful on that app. So let's just be grateful Instagram's only requiring 1. We can do that. But even if you don't post reels, like start with three a week, right? 1 a week, and move your way up. And always talk about your niche. You can switch it up. I do switch it up. My whole page is not all about hair. You can still share your life, but the niching has really helped. So another tip is connect your Instagram reels to Facebook. And I'll tell you a little story, because when I had all these VIPs coming in, I started to get curious and be like, oh, because there was like 3 reels at that time that were going viral. And I would ask a few people, I'm like, oh, which reel did you see? Or how did you find my page? And a bunch of them started saying, actually, I found you on Facebook. I was like, wait, what? I don't even use Facebook. Like, I'm 27 and Facebook's not my thing. I literally hate it. And I was like, what? I don't understand. They're like, yeah, you had this reel of your hair, and they explained like the salon hair reel. And they're like, yeah, I had like 25 million views. I'm like, a 20? What? I thought that one only had 2 million views on Instagram. I did not understand. So what I figured out, long way around, I started asking people because I didn't understand how it worked. But if you connect, there's a button when you're posting a reel at the very bottom. You can say recommended to Facebook, and you can allow it. If you don't see that, go in your settings and you can change it. I just suggest that you go Google it. It'll show you how to do it. That's how I learned. But once you connected them, basically what happens is Instagram and Facebook are owned by the same company. So Instagram takes your reel and it puts it onto the Facebook algorithm, because you can view reels on Facebook now. My dad calls them short movies. So they basically put them on Facebook, but they're not on Facebook. They can only be viewed on Facebook. And so if somebody wants to comment or like the reel, it'll actually take them back to Instagram. So it's a really weird thing that goes on, but it basically enlarges your reach. So now you've got like you access both Facebook and Instagram markets. Okay. So yeah, posting a reel physically on Facebook is like, I feel like I'm in 2001 or something. It's horrible. But anyway, link them and that will work out for you. It should. Sometimes they don't all link because it depends on the audio used. There's like some copyright stuff. I don't know how it works. But anyway, for the most part, most of them will go to Facebook. So do that. Another tip that I'm going to give is, okay, once you've attracted the people, posting a reel is great and you're attracting people. Maybe it gets like 10,000 views and you're pumped. Maybe it gets 2,000 views and you're pumped, right? That's still a lot of people. But now where do they go? Because you don't just want them to look at your reel and keep scrolling by. No, you want them to go somewhere. So at the end of your reel, you need a call to action, or at your reel, like at the very end where like the words pop up, you need somewhere to take them. Because at the end of the day, you're here to help them, right? So my reels always have a call to action. At the very end of my reel, you can go scroll every single one. If it's related to the business or the products, it's going to say link in bio. Link in bio for hair quiz, link in bio for work with me application. I just did that one today or yesterday. So you need to send them somewhere. Okay, so once that you've sent them somewhere, let's say you've got your link in your bio and your hair quiz is set up there. What I really found, because I changed my hair quiz probably 30 times, okay, in this process of getting these 800, 900 quizzes, I was like, oh my gosh, I actually I learned a lot through that process. And the number one thing I learned was that I don't want emails. I don't care what your email is, because if I get your email and I respond to these people by email, I have a very slim chance they're going to respond. Because put a 1 in the chat if you check your email daily. Put a 1 in the chat if you read all your emails. Okay, Sarah Muth, fine. If you like your emails, fine. You people, this is not who I'm talking about. I'm just kidding. But most people are not going to read emails. They're going to miss the email. It's very hard to communicate because email is like, you can leave an email and you're like, oh, I'll respond to it tomorrow. No, you want a response right away, because you know what? They actually watched your video or your reel, and most of the time, and people are not going to like that I say this, but these products are an impulse buy. They are. Right? Like you go to Sephora and you see something you really want and it's a $50 foundation. You're like, oh, okay, I'm just going to get it right now. Swipe my card, done, move out. Same with the products. So you want to be on them right away. As soon as they fill out your quiz, you want to be talking to them. So what I do, I don't want their email. I actually get them to write their email in there just so that I have it, but I ask for their phone number or their Instagram DM, whichever they prefer. You guys can go check out my quiz. You guys can copy it. I'm not going to be offended by it. Go use it because it's what works for me. And that is the way to have a conversation, is through texting or through the DM. Now, I was in Sam was too getting a lot of US people responding to her quiz. So I actually had to upgrade my phone plan. That's a business expense for me. It was worth it for me. I knew I would get more VIPs if I got their phone number and started texting them back and forth. I could voice message them. It was going to pay off for me. So just an idea. Okay, so that actually I have one more tip and I'm going to pass it off to Sam. Once I got all these hair quizzes, to be honest, I was very, very overwhelmed, as one would be when you start getting 100+ hair quizzes a day. You can't keep up with that kind of volume. And I didn't really have anybody I could go to ask for help. So this is where I want to help you guys if you ever get to this point, because it is possible. This is the power of Reels, and this is the power of network marketing, and building your funnel of people, right? So what I did is I really needed something quickly to track these people, or else I knew if I had all these people coming in, not all of them would buy. Like remember, this is a numbers game. Out of 800, 900 quizzes, I think I got total 60 people sign up from those reels. That's not great turnover. I mean, it's still 60 VIPs. That's still a lot of people, but you can see that it's a numbers game. Not everyone is going to buy right away, but these people might buy later. So I didn't want to lose them. So what I did, and I'll type it in the chat, I used something called Airtable. A virtual assistant actually gave me this advice and introduced me to it. I'm obsessed with it. You can, if you have your Google quiz on, or sorry, your hair quiz on Google Forms, you can export it from Google Forms directly into Airtable. It's very similar to Excel, but it's like an, I don't know, like a future Excel. It's awesome. Excel's kind of like an ancient dinosaur. This is where I have their email. I've got their name. I have it right in front of me. It's literally on my desktop all day long. Their main hair concern, I've got their country, et cetera, et cetera. All the details get populated in there. But then I added a column where I can track conversations. So I have right here, Rebecca, I sent out the initial reply, and I know that since that drop down is selected, she hasn't responded to me yet. But if they have responded to me, I've got more options like, okay, now I've sent recommendations. I'm going to check that. I've sent the prices to her. I've sent the flagship to her. Okay, I actually sent this girl a cart, and I started tracking it because now what did I do on the last flash sale? I went back to my list of 800, 900 people here, and I sorted by all the people I had previously sent a cart to, or I sorted by all the people who have damaged hair, or I sorted by all the people who are in US or whatever. And then I went out and I reached out to them. And I got 7 VIPs on the weekend. So it pays off to be organized. Okay. This is just tips for you guys, because once you start getting that volume, it's really hard to keep track of it. And it can get very overwhelming. And to be honest, during that time, I talked to Isabel a lot, who's my upline. I just wanted to cry in a ball. I just wanted to hide in the corner and just not deal with it. But I knew I couldn't do that, right? There's all these people that needed help, and I had to get to them all. So I did it, and it paid off for sure. But having a system and being organized ahead of time would have been better for me. So that's everything for me. I hope that was valuable. Now Sam's going to take it to the next level, that I taught you guys how to bring in people, market and bring in the VIPs, get them to the point where they've completed the quiz. But now what? Because this is where people struggle. This is where people struggle with closing the sale. So Sam, take it away.
Hello, everyone. It's always a really hard act to follow after Jade. I always joke to her, I said, I'm eating your dust. I'm number 2, but I love seeing her up there. It's amazing to see like what can happen. I think it's so funny because I'm very similar. I also joined in October of 2019. Last year, the 4 months before November of 2021, I enrolled, I think, 4 VIPs in 4 months. I just barely enrolled my personal VIP for Passport Tier 1. I think you need to enroll 12 personal VIPs in 6 months. I enrolled 14 in that qualification period. I enrolled 23 last month in 1 month. So I think that just knowing that things can change in your business so quickly, that if you are feeling discouraged or stuck, just know that things can change and your future does not have to mirror what your past has felt like. Because I know for a really long time, I would say that I'm very resilient. I'm very committed. I'm very dedicated. I did not take my foot off the gas all of 2021, but I did not see the results in 2021 that I wanted. And truthfully, I thought that was truly going to be my destiny in this business. And it really changed. And I want to tell you guys, before I get into the tangibles of the scripts and all that kind of stuff, a little bit about what changed and when it happened and what kind of kind of inspired that change. I remember it must have been maybe a month or so before Monations, or maybe it was just before Monations. I don't remember. But I was on an MM Plus call with my upline SED, and she was talking to all of us MMs about, I don't know, like momentum and whatever. And she asked us all a question. And the question was, when was the last time you felt like you were in momentum in your personal business? Not your team was in momentum. When was the last time you felt like your personal business was in momentum? And this was probably, I don't know, maybe August 2021. So almost 2 years from when I enrolled. And I was literally mortified. I probably turned my camera off. I was mortified to respond that I felt like it was Smart Start because that was 2 years ago. I was like, damn, like I have literally been, downplaying what I could actually do during my years. And I was embarrassed. I was like, oh my God, it was when I was in Smart Start. So I had to sit with that for a bit. And what I really came to realize was what was it that I was doing in Smart Start that gave me that momentum? I enrolled 12 VIPs in November of 2019. I hit a homo neighborhood in a month. I was new, I was excited, but I remember exactly what I was doing. I kept it so simple. And what I mean by that was when you enroll as a market partner in Monate, all you have is your personal experience. You are not clouded by people left, right, up, down. You don't know what other people are doing. You don't know anyone else's journey. You're like delusionally optimistic. You're just kind of like throwing things at the wall, hoping they stick. You only have 6 products. You only have the products that were given to you for your specific hair concern. And I remember on repeat, all I was showing was my volume shampoo, my volume conditioner, my dry shampoo, my oil, my split and mender, my blowout cream, because that's all I had. And all I was talking about were my oily roots and my dry ends. And I was excited and I was passionate and I wasn't distracted. I wasn't talking about the Fluxy curl gel. Like that doesn't even exist to me. Curl cream, never heard of it. Literally glossy shine mist, never. Ew, gross. Like I don't talk about any of those things now, but I think that I got so lost over the last 2 years that I thought that I had to show everything in order to open more eyes when I essentially just turned people off me because they saw me as this walking advertisement. I think every single person who comes into this industry, they have that hesitation of, I don't want to be spammy and salesy, but you better believe within 5 months, we're all talking about every flash sale. We're talking about every skincare product. We're talking about everything like it's the best thing ever. People can read through that. They see that so clearly. So maybe this is triggering to you. Maybe this is triggering to you because it was triggering to me. But maybe it's time that you take a step back. You remember the products that truly changed your life, your confidence, your journey, and maybe that is what you share. Maybe you don't necessarily talk about every flash sale. Maybe you still talk about those products that help, your oily roots and your dry ends even when there's a skincare flash sale. I don't know. It really has been so fulfilling and I feel so much joy and I'm way less stressed about content creation because I'm continuously showing the same things and people are now seeing on the outside that I'm only showing like 5 or 6 products. And when they look at my page, they don't now think they need a 76-step skincare routine to get my results, or they don't need 85 products to get my hair care results. They see me using the same things. I talk about the same things over and over again. People are now like, it's a lot more digestible. It's a little bit more low maintenance. People already are a bit skeptical about the pricing and all that, that they see it as an approachable product that they can implement into their life. And it also is a way that you can kind of show potential market partners that they don't need to talk about skincare, hair care, the volume products, the lash and brow serum, all this stuff that maybe necessarily you love to use, but is it really the thing that's bringing people into your door? Think about the products that you're talking about as the A-frame outside of your shop. You're not going to put every single product that you have on the outside of your store. You're going to bring people in with your prime key products. And then as soon as they're in the door, as soon as they're in your DMs, they're walking down the aisles. They're checking out the skincare. They're grabbing the dry shampoo. Oh, intense repair treatment spray. I could use that. But think about the core products that are really going to give people a good view of your personality, your authority, your actual genuine experience. And then from there, use it on repetition. Keep it simple, keep it authentic, talk about your story, stop talking about everything, because when you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. And that is one thing that I really struggled with disconnecting with when I wasn't sharing curly products. I wasn't showing frizz products for a long time, thinking I would never get a curly girl. But I think about it this way, I have never really enrolled, many curly girls in my life. When I think about it this way, when I stopped talking about skincare on my Instagram, I've never enrolled a VIP with skincare in my entire 2.5 years. So why am I talking about it on my Instagram? You know, all my VIPs buy skincare because I use a close friends list. And that's where I talk about the flash sales to people that are already invested into the products. But it's not my bread and butter. It is not. I am the oily roots, dry ends, you know, thin blonde hair girl. I have key products. Everyone knows what I use. And that's that. And those are the people that come to me. I have like a community of oily scalps, and it's a movement. So that's kind of my piece on that. Before I get into like how to actually speak to people, I need some water. It's real dry in this condo. All right, I'm going to bring up my scripts. So I hope that almost like gives you a bit of permission. Maybe you're a little bit confused now and you're like, oh my gosh, but it truly has been the one thing that has changed my entire business. I wake up like excited. I don't wake up stressed. I don't wake up stressed on Friday about flash sales, because at the end of the day, you better believe, even if the lash serum's on sale, I'll still be talking about the dry shampoo. And if they happen to get the flash sale, sure, they can add on the lash serum. So it really just gives you a place of genuineness when you're speaking. Okay, let me bring my screen up here. Okay, so now back to Jade. So Jade has now attracted all these people in, they're in your DMs. And I don't necessarily think a lot of us have lead problems. There's always going to be people that want products. I think a lot of us have a closing problem. And what I mean by that is, I think sometimes we say too much. I think sometimes we say not enough. I think sometimes we are very salesy. I think sometimes we think people know more than they do. We jump the gun a bit. So this is like a really, really step-by-step walkthrough guide. Once again, I'm not telling you to say this word for word. I want you to put your own twist on it. You can completely take everything I say with a grain of salt, but this is my tried and tested system. And it makes speaking to VIPs very straightforward, and they get everything they need to know along the way. So how to talk to potential VIP clients. Someone DMs you or someone fills out your hair quiz. So you have a lead. Yay. Here are some of my biggest tips for speaking with VIPs to improve your chances of ending the conversation with a new client. So key things to remember. One, as Jade was saying, people are messaging you and filling out your hair quiz and DMing you on emotion. They are messaging you emotionally. A lot of times this is an impulse purchase. They are messaging you because their hair has broken, they were straightening it, their hair is tangly, it's oily again. They are emotionally triggered of some way, and they're finally having the courage to message you. So when you respond to people promptly, you are responding when that person is still in that emotional state. If you wait 4 years, 4 days, they're probably not feeling the same way. Their hair is glorious. They just went to the hairdresser. They're feeling fresh. They're like, who is that girl again? You got to get to people quickly. I would say within, a few hours, if not up to 12 hours would be the max. Obviously you can sleep and stuff, but like you want to get to people as soon as possible, at least acknowledge them and let them know that you have received their inquiry. Be excited about their new hair journey. I think the stuff is pretty straightforward. Share your excitement by using the voice note feature on Instagram, text, or WhatsApp, whatever way they contacted you. I pretty well within a few messages, they hear my voice on voice note, because I want to show them that I'm actually excited. And I'm passionate about what I'm talking about. They can hear that through the phone. I also ask the VIP if now is a good time to discuss their hair consult. Why I do this is because if you're getting reels that are getting pushed out to audiences that are bigger than your current network, which is where you're locally around, you may be getting people from Australia, UK, USA, West Coast, East Coast, and what time is convenient for you may not be convenient for them. So if you all of a sudden go down the pipeline and start saying, oh my God, your hair quiz, da, 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 da. They may be changing a diaper. They may be going to bed. They may be at work. I always give people that control and respect and say, hey, like, is now a good time to discuss your hair quiz? If so, can you send me a photo of your hair so that way I can see a better close up of the texture and the thickness? A lot of times people on Instagram also are private, so you can't see their hair necessarily. And when they fill out a quiz and say their hair is thin, I'm like, okay, how thin are you? Are you like really thin, or are you like, were you really thick, but you just feel like you lost a few hair strands and you're saying you're thin? Like, I want to know actually how thin you are. So that is a really important thing. I love asking for photos because it makes them feel very involved. It makes it feel official. It makes it feel not as like cut and dry, like it's very personal. And they can tell it's like a personalized consult, and then if they just DM'd me, like maybe they responded to one of my Instagram posts and I wrote like, DM me sale to jump on the sale and they say sale, if they haven't filled out the quiz questions, I just obviously have like 10 quiz questions on my notes, and I'll send them over and I'll get them to answer those. Okay, so first thing I do, so someone fills out the quiz, I have their answers. Now is a good time to speak. I have a photo, amazing. Before I do anything, before I look at their quiz, before I recommend the products, anything like that, I send voice notes of this exact kind of like speech. Essentially, it's explaining the Monate difference, because I want to make sure with the 350 hair quizzes that I'm going through that, one, people know it's Monate instantly, and two, they know the pricing, because those are the two biggest reasons why someone will not purchase. One, because it's Monate, and two, because of the pricing. And I think that when you are recommending these products, you want to make sure that you're coming from a place of authority, you're coming from a place of integrity, and you're coming from a place of full ownership, that you are literally like so proud to represent these products. So explaining the Monate difference, what I say is, so first I wanted to explain to you a couple of reasons why the products that I use and have been using for the last 2.5 years and have helped hundreds and hundreds of people with are called Monate. Why Monate products are different than what maybe you have used in the past or currently use is Monate is essentially like a nutritional system for your hair. Its first job is to go into your scalp and help remove any sort of product buildup, waxes, plastic, silicone, and harsh chemicals. All that stuff is clogging your scalp follicles, clogging your hair, and suffocating your hair strands. This buildup could be the reason why. Acknowledge their hair concern. Maybe they're flaky, maybe they're oily, maybe they're dry, maybe their hair won't grow, whatever it may be, you can always tie it back to this, because this is a huge reason. Once that buildup is off, which takes 1 to 1.5 months, your hair strands are now more bare and can now absorb the ingredients in your products better. The most important ingredient in the Monate line is called Rejuvenique, and its molecular structure is so small it can penetrate all 3 layers of the hair strand to reverse damage and start healing your hair from the inside out. This ingredient is infused into the majority of our products. It will also help to give your scalp the nutrients it needs to have an ideal environment to grow healthy hair. So I send that right away. And then I follow that up with transparency about pricing. So I send them that it's Monate, and then I send them this message about pricing. So I say, when it comes to getting started with the Monate products, you have a couple options. You can start with an essentials routine, which would consist of a custom shampoo, conditioner, maybe 1 to 2 out of shower styling products specific to your goals. And you're looking at anywhere between 130 to 150 Canadian, lasting you about 4 to 6 months. Or you can maybe start something more comprehensive, which would give you maybe 2+ more products, such as our oil, treatment products, hair masks, styling sprays, and you're looking at more like 180 to 220 Canadian, lasting you 4 to 6 months. Which option sounds more in line with what you want to get started with today? That's where I leave it at. So essentially from there, they're going to get back to me with, oh, it's Monate, I'm not interested. Or, oh, that sounds amazing, I'll go with the essentials option. That definitely sounds more like me. Or, oh, I'm somewhere in between. Or, oh, I love lots of products, I'm comprehensive. Or I'll get the question or the answer, oh, actually, these products are a little bit out of my price range. I'll have to pass. When I get something like that, I will then respond to them and say, would you like me to show you a way for you to earn back the cost of your products and help cover the cost of your hair care? And I can tell you a little bit more about the business. If they say no, that's when I'll then offer them to be put on my flash sale list for when the products will go on sale. So I'll literally offer them essentials comprehensive. If they say it's too expensive, I'll offer them the business to earn the cost of their products. If they still say it's too expensive, I'll then put them on my flash sale list. If they still say it's too expensive, sorry, see you later, because I can't do anything more about it. So that's what I do about pricing. This way, at least we know that people are essentially sold now. The sale is done. Essentially, if they tell me that one of these carts and price ranges work, they're sold. They know the products are going to work. They know why they're different, and they know the pricing. So from here on out, it's now just customer service and getting them the right stuff, because they already know what the price tag is going to be at the end. So from there, very similar to probably what everyone does here, you relay the options to the VIP, you look at their quiz, you have a chat to them about it, you match their goals and their concerns with the products. Here, I always will recommend like a shampoo, a conditioner, styling products. I'll always explain why the specific products I've been recommending. I always over recommend. I will always mention additional styling treatment products. I will at least discuss them and tell them about it. And I will always mention the oil and why they need the oil. Even if they're going essentials, I will always over recommend, because we all know in a couple of steps, we are going to be setting up a flagship. So if someone is getting a flagship set up and they have never heard of the hair transformation mask, or they've never heard of the split end mender, and all of a sudden it happens to be in there, it won't make sense. So telling people in advance that there's a few different things that you can get started with, you can kind of pick what you want to start with, and we can kind of break things up, or these are the next steps in your journey. It gives people awareness, and it makes sense to them. They don't ask questions. They're like, well, yeah, that would be the next thing because I've heard about it. I want it all now, but let's just start simple. So that is what I do. I always over recommend. I always explain the oil before I even give pricing. And yeah, let me just check the chat if there's any specific questions. Okay, perfect. Okay, so from here, I've recommended all the products. I've told them all the things that I would recommend. I then send people 2 different carts. So I send people 2 carts, and I send them a photo of the VIP perks. So why do I send people 2 carts? I send them an essentials cart, which is essentially what they want, like the bare minimum, the cheapest price. And then I send them a cart with the oil. If they want the comprehensive cart, I'll send them the comprehensive cart with maybe and then another cart that's more comprehensive as well. I want them to see 2 different options kind of circulating around their price range. And with this, I really lay it out. I write goals, I highlight their goals. I make this on stories. So I screenshot in the back office. I screenshot them, I bring them onto stories, I line it up, and I write this out for every single person. Yes, is it time consuming? Yes. Does it take time? Yes. But does it help convert? Yes. So that's just the way that it is. And it's also super helpful because I write down their goals, I write down their perks, and I write down their step-by-step routine. So when they purchase and then their products arrive, I literally just reply to the message that I sent them in the chat and said, here's your routine, because I had already written out for them. So it kind of makes it that I already have that made for them. One cart will have like the 3 products, like the shampoo, conditioner, leave-in with the freebie. I definitely draw a line towards the savings. And then the second cart will always have the oil, because the purchase plus will be higher and everyone needs the oil. And from here, they can kind of see the price difference. And why I send 2 carts is because people like to feel like they're in control of their shopping experiences. This gives them 2 options to choose from. And people want to feel in control. They want to be the one to choose what they're starting with, whether or not you've told them what they need, they want to be in control. Instead of offering this cart and no cart, so how many people here only ever send 1 cart? Drop a 1 in the chat if you only ever send 1 cart. 1. Okay, yeah. Okay, so a lot. Okay, 1, perfect. Yeah. So when you send 1 cart, you're giving people 1 option, or actually you're giving them 2 options. You're giving them yes, and you're giving them no. And how many times do those messages turn into no's? Probably a few times. Whereas when you offer people 2 carts, you're giving them a higher chance that they're going to say yes, because you're giving them, would you like option 1 or would you like option 2? There's really no option, no. It's 1 or 2. And this is question-based selling. So this has been key. And also what happens here is people want to visually see themselves the savings. They want to see themselves the difference, and they naturally are going to notice the savings, and they're going to upsell themselves onto a bigger cart, because people love cheating the system. They love beating the system. They want the biggest savings, but they want to be the one deciding that. So when you send them 2 different carts, the purchase plus is bigger on bigger carts, and naturally they will upsell themselves onto the bigger cart. And everyone gets a cart with and without the oil, because when they choose the cheaper cart without the oil, it is literally super simple to put the oil in the flagship. It makes sense. They're literally deciding to the last minute if they want that oil. So you better believe in 60 days or 30 days, they're going to be dying to order their oil. Pretty much every single person I've enrolled with Reels have completed their flagships because of this system. They know what the oil is. They wanted it from the start. They are hungry for it. They just don't get it right away. Whereas all my other customers, it's like pulling teeth, trying to get them to complete their flagship. So this helps down the line. It makes them more committed to the routine. They see the vision of all the products. It is like brilliant. Okay, so once I've sent the cart, this is important. When I send VIPs their cart, because I ask them for their email, I only ask for their email. I will voice note them explaining how to complete their order. So you will have received into your email an email from Monate saying, click here to complete enrollment. If you don't have have a look in your spam. Once you click that, click next, account creation, and complete your personal info. You will see a shopping cart in the top right corner with a number in it. This is exactly what we discussed in your order for today. The next thing you will see is this thing called FlexShip. So this is FlexShip 101. This is literally roll off the tongue. You will never get questions about FlexShip. You should have so much confidence with explaining FlexShip if you follow something like this. So Monat does not have auto ship. There are no monthly purchases required, no monthly fees or charges. What Monat does have is this amazing flexible convenience service called FlexShip, which essentially gets you a free product and free shipping anytime you place a FlexShip order. The best thing about it is that you're in complete control over when you place your order, what you order, and how often. The only commitment with Monat is that you place 2 more orders in your lifetime. So the first one will likely be your Rejuvenate oil, as that is 100% the most important next step in your hair care journey. And then likely in 5 to 6 months, you'll need to restock up on your shampoo, conditioner, because those products last that long. This is so important. You're essentially getting their FlexShip over with before they even realize. They're like, how approachable is that, right? They're going to get their oil. They already wanted it. It makes sense. And you're emphasizing the value of our products lasting 5 to 6 months. So they are already your oil, your next order, you're done your FlexShips. It does not seem scary because it isn't. You know, our products are consumable. People will order this. So just phrasing it in a way that makes sense to people will really scare off any sort of like fears and hesitations or anything like that. So as of right now, I pop the fill in the blank. So whatever product I put in there are a combination of products in there as a placeholder. But of course, we'll be in touch before that order comes up to discuss what you might need moving forward. I never want you to run out of products. So the FlexShip will be there when you need a restock. But for today, just proceed to your billing and shipping and complete your order. So this is what I say, even with the no FlexShip requirement in March, I am not changing my system. I want all of my customers to utilize their FlexShips. The FlexShips have been a reason why I had my highest PV ever in my entire Monat business. I doubled my highest PV in my entire business last month, and that was a lot to do with FlexShips going through. So I do not want to talk about the no obligation because I want people to have FlexShips. But once again, that is completely your choice. But you should not be afraid of FlexShip. FlexShip is amazing, and it comes from a confidence that comes from you. So if you need to find a way to phrase it, to say it, to whatever it is, to make it so you feel confident explaining it, do that, because that is going to not only help convert the sale and make a happy customer, but have them actually utilize their FlexShips and be excited about them. I had VIPs I would reach out to and I was like, oh, your FlexShip's coming up. They're like, yep, I moved it earlier. I'm so excited. I'm like, whoa. So people want them. People want their FlexShips. You need to be the one to start the confidence in that. And if this script can help you in any way, take it. It's yours for the taking. But that's pretty much all I have, other than, okay, I've sent the cart. And last thing I always say is I always voice note my clients just before they fill out their cart. And I say, hey, so once you've completed your order, let me know, send me a message, because I want to be able to send you a couple videos on how to wash. I'm going to add you into my VIP Facebook group, and your products are going to ship in the next 2 to 5 days. I cannot wait for your first wash. You're going to be absolutely obsessed. So I foreshadow and forecast to them what the experience is going to be like after they complete the order. It's not like they're going to complete the order and then I'm going to ghost and block them on Instagram. They have many things coming down the line. I used to give my VIPs like samples and gifts, and now I'm like so backdated. I'm like, I need to start doing that again. But if you give your VIPs gifts, you can tell them something's coming in the mail for you once you complete your order, whatever you need to do to make people know that there is an aftercare service as well. That has really helped in kind of like bundling up my VIP process with a nice bow on top. And it makes people feel really, really good and excited. You know, they know that they're not just a transaction, you know, so that is super, super important. So that's pretty much all I have. Jade, do you have anything else? I think you
I think I'm good, unless I know there's a bunch of questions and I tried to scroll up, but now I've lost them all. If you have questions, can you just repeat it at now?
I can see some. Okay, let me go. So I'm going to just start with Britt Bree. So she said, oh, I'll start with Christine Preston. So Sam, do you voice note the info about, yes, everything that I pretty much wrote out, I voice note. I do not type anything. I voice note all of it. The flagship stuff, about the Monat difference, about the pricing, about the products, pretty much everything is a voice note until I send them the photos. Do you send a voice note for all of this, or do you copy and paste? No, I do not type anything. It's all voice note. Flagships rock. I agree, Erin. Yep, literally voice note, voice note, voice note. What video do you send for washing? I have a video of me in Dominican in one of those outdoor showers, washing my hair. You are more than welcome to send my hair washing video. I know Jade has one as well, but it really just shows the product actually like working. So you can go onto my Instagram and send them that. It's literally a 1-minute reel, and I send them that, and I send them how to do an oil treatment. Do you ever offer to sign them up yourselves? No, I do not ever sign anyone up because I don't ask for their details. I literally just grab their email and I send it to them, and they just enroll. I don't sign them up. Do you let them know they will have to make one flagship a year, or that they do not have to make one flagship a year. They just have to make 2 flagships in their lifetime. So I just tell them that they have to make, the only requirement is they complete 2 flagships in their lifetime. Any other questions?
Can I just, well, do they put their address and personal info? Yeah, so Sam and I do the same thing. We save the cart after you've set up the flagship. That's where you click save. They type in, or you type in their email, the cart gets emailed to them. I just want to say one thing about the voice messaging thing. So personally, the only thing I will not voice note is flagship, only because I've had people come back at me in the past where they said I didn't explain the flagship properly, and I never wanted that to happen again. So what happens with Instagram is your voice messages, for some reason, sometimes they only last so long. So when you scroll back up, if they actually disappear, people can't play them. You don't ever want that to happen. That's just a tip I have, just to stay with compliance, so they can never come back at you. You protect yourself.
Yeah, that's true. Also, like, even if you have sent people voice notes about flagship and they come back at you, they do click in on the VIP
Yes.
agreement. So you're always covered by that. And that is why you should never sign people up. Like, if you can avoid it, like, they click the VIP agreement and they cannot come at you for anything. There is a cancellation fee. Yeah. So for example, if someone doesn't complete their flagships, they can choose to cancel within the 30 days, no money back guarantee. Outside of that, they can pay $33 if they don't complete 2. If they complete 1, they pay $25 Canadian. Do you find people are flaky though if you don't do it for them? Like, I've sent carts over email and they ghost me. I think that, I don't know, Jade, like, you've had people that you sent cards to and they just haven't confirmed it, but I just don't ask for people's credit card information on Instagram.
Yeah, and honestly, I have signed people up before in the past, and again, it's bit me in the butt because I'm the one that clicks, or you are the one that clicks the agree to terms, and that's not right. It will come around and get you, so just don't do it. It's a numbers game. Again, yes, people might get the cart and they're not going to complete the order. You know what? They'll buy eventually. But what really helps is you need to explain exactly what they have to do once they get that email. And what helped me is go and create just a regular cart and send the email to yourself, so you know exactly what the VIP gets to their email, and that's how you can explain it. So I have scripts in my notes. It's literally, well, like when I had so many people, physically, I couldn't voice message everybody. I tried to in the beginning and I was exhausted by the end of the day. So I created scripts. And when I'm tired and I don't want to do a voice note, I have the script. So it's so easy to just copy and paste, send it off. That's exactly, like, I have okay, your cart is sent script, and that's it.
When you organize your leads, do you also add a column on Airtable for all the recommended items you chosen, so you remember what you've suggested?
I do not. That would probably be a great addition, but I find that if somebody responds to me and say they haven't signed up yet, I have all their info. So I actually just go to their Instagram or their phone number and I just look at where we left off and I can see what I recommended. Although, again, with the voice notes, if you're texting voice notes, they disappear. They disappear over text. So then I forget what I've recommended. So that's another thing where my recommendations now are usually always written, so I'll never forget it.
Guys, this was so awesome. Are there any other, I honestly, I think people could ask you guys questions all night long.
Yeah.
You guys did so well tonight. We appreciate you so much. I know we maxed out. I know a lot of people weren't able to get on the call, but we did record it and we're going to put it on YouTube, and we'll make sure that we share the replay with everybody, because these babes have already done this training like 5 times, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people that would love to hear it. Congratulations on all the success of your business. Like, we love watching you guys grow. So good. And
yeah, thank you guys so much for doing this.
We're so
Hot
appreciative.
dogs and mustard, Sam, coming your way.
I am ready. I'm ready for the mustard, the 2 a.m. street meat.
Yeah,
Amazing.
let's do it.
Oh, you guys. Okay. Well, I hope you guys have an amazing night. Thank you for this hour. Again, very appreciative. And let's start implementing some of these things that these girls are doing and see if we can all make 2022 amazing. Awesome.
Thanks,
have a
guys.
fantastic night.
Thanks,
Bye, everybody.
everyone.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.